It's time for the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
Well, a special night here at Crispin Field, the regular season finale and senior night with 7 Bulldogs making their final appearance of their careers at home. The opponent, the Tigers of Tunkhannock, in the first meeting between the teams since the 2021 season. Both teams 3-6. The Dogs coming off a 38-20 loss at Selinsgrove. CJ, your team had every right to feel good going into last Friday's game, riding a 2-game winning streak, coming off that impressive win at Williamsport. So the results were obviously disappointing for you and your team. But other than the final score, what disappointed you the most about your team's performance?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely a disappointment for all of us, a disappointment for the coaching staff, and our guys were super disappointed in themselves after the game. And it was one of those deals where you have 9 penalties for 125 yards, and 7 of those were personal fouls. And, you know, in the program that I'm trying to build here, that's just unacceptable. I mean, we have 4 core values in pride, discipline, commitment, and toughness, and we showed none of those 4 on Friday night. I mean, we just weren't able to walk away, you know, after some stuff after the whistle, and we know that when other teams are going to talk, that, you know, we just can't talk, just got to play in between the whistles, and, you know, we weren't able to have that discipline after the whistle to just walk away, and so that hurt us, you know. And when we were in big situations, it was just shooting ourselves in the foot once again. So we took a little step back last week in that regard, but, you know, our guys came in ready to roll on Monday this week, and they had a wonderful week of practice, and they know that, you know, this is a huge game for us to send our seniors out on the right note, for them to have a winning record at home this season. We'd go 3-2 at Crispin Field to set that foundation, especially for the future, and, you know, to send our seniors out, like I said, on senior night. And we know that Tunkhannock's going to give us their best shot, but, you know, our guys have prepared and held each other accountable this week.
I can't remember a game where field position was a bigger factor than the one at Selinsgrove last Friday. In your team's first 5 possessions, your average starting spot was your own 17th. Now, those are tough conditions for any offense at any level of football, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at any kind of analytical data that comes out, and a lot of times, I mean, you can say what you want about analytics, but it statistically decreases your chances to score significantly if you're starting on your own minus 20 or under. And so, you know, that's why special teams is such a huge part of our game, and we've always said it in practice. Like, if you just wait till the game costs you in special teams. Not to say that this game came down to special teams and it costed us, but, like, I believe their starting field position was on our side of the ball in the first half, whereas we had to go on average 80 yards to score a touchdown, which, you know, with guys like Ty and Billy and Galusha, it's you're always able to kind of have that quick strike, but we want to be able to sustain drives, and it just makes it so much more difficult, especially with a high-powered offense like they have, where Bastion kind of found his groove on Friday night. The quarterback played very well, and they were running the ball effectively in the first quarter, but it helps when you're on a short field. There's no doubt about that.
You look at the post-game stat sheet, looks like your team had a good night offensively, particularly Ty Wilkerson, 31 carries, 270 yards, but 3 of those carries accounted for 184. The other 28, just 3 yards a carry. So for much of the game, Selinsgrove bottled him up. How'd they do it?
Yeah, and they had about 9-10 guys in the box, and they made it difficult for us to get anything going on the inside. I mean, they were blitzing, they were controlling gaps, and we were a little bit confused at times. You know, you go back and you look at it on film, and once again, we were 1 or 2 blocks away. You know, guys just making contact and staying on blocks, and just their defense was sliding off a little bit too easily. And so, you know, it's difficult where, you know, we haven't been able to throw the ball effectively, and I know Billy's trying his tail off and he's working to get better, but, you know, not many teams are respecting our pass game right now, so they're able to kind of just load the box, say, hey, we're going to play man if guys go out for a pass, and we're going to make you throw the ball against us. So, you know, that's something that we've really worked on this week, that we have to be able to stay out of being so one-dimensional when it calls for it, and to be able to get a throw on first or second down and not wait till those third down opportunities where it's third and long and it's kind of expected. So, you know, those are things that we've worked through all week, and hopefully we can show tonight that, you know, we can be more efficient offensively.
Well, up next, CJ will evaluate the Bulldogs' defensive effort against Selinsgrove. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick. The roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates. Why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding. Specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
Family tradition is the foundation of Nespoli Jewelers, a family tradition started by Joseph Nespoli and continued by his grandson Jonathan. For 3 generations, Nespoli Jewelers have prided themselves on mixing fine with fashion. Jonathan can customize your engagement ring and wedding bands, design a unique piece of jewelry inspired by you, or simply help you find an affordable gift. Service, quality, creativity. Nespoli Jewelers. Yesterday's principles, today's creations. East Front Street, Berwick, and online at nespolijewelers.com.
Be moved in a Mazda from W&L. Jump in with the whole family for a night of memories. Third row Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, offering 1.9% financing for 72 months.
Or choose old utility in the new CX-70. You will elevate your driving experience with a comfortable cabin and experience. Military offers end 10/31/24.
Hot water, no power, no problem. They can provide a generator to keep the lights on. They even provide sanitary service to campgrounds, parks, parties, and have 24-hour emergency service. Contact Preferred Portables to learn about event and contractor pricing. Check out their website, preferredportables.com. We're number 1 when you have to go number 2.
It's the Bulldogs against the Tigers of Tunkhannock. Both teams have 3-6 records. CJ, last Friday, Selinsgrove's Ethan Miller had a 45-yard run on their first possession. In their 34 other rushing attempts, they averaged
You look at that first run that Ethan had, and Selinsgrove has scored in 6 of their 8 opening possessions in games. I believe now it's 7 for 9. So after the game on Friday night, but it was one of those things where he had about a 12-yard gain, and we missed a tackle in the secondary. So missed tackles were an issue as well, especially with throwing quick passes. But I think our run defense, they've proven the past few weeks that they've been great, and it was our secondary that had a couple lapses in coverage, which were aided to some of their big plays. But credit to them. At the end of the day, they made the plays and we didn't.
We talked about the field position factor and how it affected your offense. It affected your defense as well. Selinsgrove's first 5 possessions, the average starting spot was your 46-yard line. That's tough to deal with, isn't it?
Yeah, putting our defense in that position isn't good. We don't want to put them in that spot because they're, like we said, that increases their chances to score by a significant amount. If they can start at the plus 46, that's never a spot that we want to put our defense in. And I think that our defense battled. There's a couple big plays that they had, a couple of times where the communication was just lacking in our linebackers and our defensive backs, which caused some things to open up. And credit to their quarterback, he put the ball in the money for a young kid, a sophomore. He probably had the game of his season so far against us. He was efficient, he was quick, he was accurate, and their guys made plays all night. So it was one of those things that we certainly had to work on this week and just get back to it. And it really came down to communication. I think that if we were communicating properly on that back end section of our defense, and if guys were all on the same page coverage wise, I think we could have taken some of those things away. So that lapse in communication was really the biggest issue that I saw on Friday night, which we've really worked to correct this week.
Was that the problem with the 2 big plays they had? Because you knew Gavin Bastian was a great receiver and he was going to get his receptions, and he had 7, but only 70 yards. The 2 huge pass plays were 29 yards to Jake Bettle, 42 yards to Wyatt Teets, both open over the middle.
Yep, 2 blown coverages right there. 2 plays, 2 blown coverages, and the one, that Bettle caught over the middle. It was a play that we ran every single day in practice this week, where we should have checked out of the coverage that we were in and checked into a man-free look where we had a single safety over the top and man underneath, and we just didn't get to the check, and so our linebacker didn't run with the tight end going down the field. Both of our safeties rolled to an outside third, and he was wide open. The same thing with Wyatt Teets' reception. We were just we were in a rolling cover 3 look, and on the snap of the ball, one guy went one way, one guy went the opposite way, just not communicating, and then the quarterback saw it, took advantage of it, made a great throw and catch.
You mentioned that quarterback, Rocco Amato. You have only yourself to blame. You worked with him last year when he was a 9th grader, and he looked terrific. And the way you contained the run game, if he's not on his game, you win it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rocco played a great game. He's such a great kid. He really is. So, if it was anybody else, I'd be super happy for him. I still am happy for him. I'm proud of him. I really am proud of him. He's got a wonderful family. He's the leader of that team. He's one of the nicest kids you'd ever meet. So, I root for him 9 weeks out of the year and in the playoffs. And unfortunately, he beat us up pretty good.
Well, later in the show, CJ will tell us about tonight's opponent, the Tigers of Tunkhannock. But up next, the Bulldog Spotlight feature. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio.
Hey, hometown fans. You know Journey Bank as your trusted local bank. But did you know we're also the biggest cheerleader for our community's youth? From athletes competing under the Friday night lights, to students excelling in the classroom, to talented teen stars singing center stage, we're investing in the future of our young people. At Journey Bank, we're committed to helping our kids score big in every aspect of life. Journey Bank, where dreams are nurtured and futures are built. Journey Bank, proud supporter of our local youth.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 35 years experience. And new Bulldog wear for every age, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, polos, hats, and more. They even make online fundraising easy for you. Stop in today to discuss your next fundraising opportunity. You can also shop at masonsmonogramming.com for their new inventory and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogramming for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram Service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
Fall into savings at Ken Pollock Ford and take advantage of up to $10,000 off select F-150s in stock and up to $1,000 of trade assistance on our Bronco family lineup. With rates falling as low as 1.9% on select models, there's a vehicle for everyone's budget. Ken Pollock Ford is proud to have experts on hand with over 200 years of sales and service experience combined. Service pickup and drop-off, loaner cars, mobile service, we do it all. Only at Ken Pollock Ford, Route 11 Berwick, or online at kenpollockford.com.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickashinny, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
When you've been sidelined by an injury, all you want is to get back in the game. Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. We use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Call 833-LV-ORTHO. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
It's senior night and the regular season finale here at Crispin Field as the Bulldogs take on Tunkhannock. In our next segment, CJ will give us his scouting report on the Tigers. But now it's time for our weekly feature Bulldog Spotlight. Tonight, the spotlight is on lineman Matt Gordner. CJ, it's 6'2", listed as 280. Matt Gordner has great size for a high school lineman. Besides size, what other attributes does he have?
Matt's physical. Matt is super physical, and Matt loves to get after it. We'll be in the weight room, and he'll just come up to me and down block me about 15 yards down the weight room. And he's such a great kid. And I've had the pleasure of being able to coach Matt since he was in 8th grade. And the strides that Matt has made as a football player and with his toughness, both physically and mentally, it's been such a 180 with him. And it's such a great thing to see. I'm so proud of Matt with what he's been able to do this year. I know that last year he battled some injuries, but he's been a 3-year starter, and coming in as a freshman and being able to compete on the offensive line and start some games and then getting his first full year of starting. And now, he's an absolute animal on offensive and defensive line. So, his football IQ has gone up a great amount. He's able to call things out there, and he's able to get on the same page working with our other linemen. And an awesome thing about Matt is he's got such quick feet, and he's got so much power in his hips that he's one of our best pullers. And so against Williamsport, we were able to kind of use him as a fullback and get him out of the backfield a little bit, which was pretty cool to see. So you might see a little bit more of that tonight as well. But coaching Matt's just such an honor. I love being with him. He's got such a great personality. Just being around the guys, he makes everybody laugh, and he's got everybody locked in.
Is he better on offense or defense?
I think that before the season started, you would have said night and day offense, but he's one of those guys that it's tough to take him out on defense as well. He's the best on our team at splitting a double team. He's so strong. He's one of the strongest guys that we have on the team. He's got the second highest bench press right behind Chase Shuckers. He's got a great squad. He's got the second best power clean on the team. And so, his just brute strength and his lower body strength, it helps him so much defensively. He's become tough and a great tackler. So he's made some great plays, but offensively, he's meaning, he gets after. He's everything that embodies what an offensive lineman should be.
Well, he's one of 3 starters that will be back on the offensive line next season. And then you've got backups Nico Lonzinski and Mike Perry, who both seen playing time. You have to be really optimistic about that line for 2025.
Yeah, for sure. And those guys, and we've hung our hats on them all year, I think that those are some of the toughest guys on our team totally. And I think that those are the guys that have led us all season. And so for those guys to be able, for some of them like JJ and Matt, to have this experience since they were freshmen, to be our true leaders next year, as long as Nico Lonzinski and Draven Geiger coming back, who's going to have 2 years of starting experience as a senior. And like you talked about, Big Mike, who's one of the toughest kids I've ever been around, as well as guys coming up who were freshmen who played phenomenal in JV this year, like Henry Snyder, who plays center, and DeMarcus McMillan, who's a massive freshman who's just gotten better. Our offensive line core, they need to continue to work and can't get complacent in anything that they do. But, that's something that we're going to be super excited about next year as well.
In tonight's Bulldog Spotlight, junior lineman Matt Gordner. Tonight, Matt and his Bulldog teammates take on Tunkhannock on senior night here at Crispin Field. Up next, CJ will tell us about the Tigers' offense. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show here on Pop Radio.
Jim Doyle and the Berwick Bulldogs head coach CJ Curry. Brought to you by
Overhead Door of Berwick, Berwick Notary, State Farm Insurance, Sean Black and Lori Powell, First Keystone Community Bank, the Willows Golf Course, Journey Bank, Flick Brothers Electric in Bloomsburg, Blaze Alexander Family Buick GMC of Bloomsburg, Berwick Dental Arts, W&L Subaru, Nissan and Mazda, Reds Roofing, Preferred Portables, Nespoli Jewelers, Neighborhood Fence, Ken Pollock Ford, Mayo Funeral Home, ND Accounting and Consulting, and Mason's Monogram Service.
You'll only find the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio and streaming online at thisispopradio.com.
Stop. Don't make your next car payment. Instead, get a new vehicle at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. Because right now, we're offering a 120% of Kelley Blue Book trade value buyback bonus, up to $2,500. Just find the vehicle you want from our huge selection of new Buicks and GMCs and get 120% of KBB trade-in value for yours. It's the 120% of KBB buyback bonus event going on now at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. The lowest price guaranteed.
Reds Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, the roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Reds Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding, specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Reds Roofing, the roofing ninjas, now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
Planning your next big event? Weddings, concerts, church festivals, even construction sites. Preferred Portables has you covered. Preferred Portables offers a luxury restroom trailer that even has hot water. No power? No problem. They can provide a generator to keep the lights on. They even provide sanitary service to campgrounds, parks, parties, and have 24-hour emergency service. Contact Preferred Portables to learn about event and contractor pricing. Check out their website, preferredportables.com. We're number one when you have to go number two.
When you've been sidelined by an injury, all you want is to get back in the game. Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. We use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Call 833-LV-ORTHO. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
Family tradition is the foundation of Nespoli Jewelers, a family tradition started by Joseph Nespoli and continued by his grandson Jonathan. For 3 generations, Nespoli Jewelers have prided themselves on mixing fine with fashion. Jonathan can customize your engagement ring and wedding bands, design a unique piece of jewelry inspired by you, or simply help you find an affordable gift. Service, quality, creativity. Nespoli Jewelers. Yesterday's principles, today's creations. East Front Street in Berwick and online at nespolijewelers.com.
You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
The 2024 regular season comes to an end with this weekend's games. Here at Crispin Field, the Bulldogs face Tunkhannock for the first time since 2021. Pat Keating is in his second season as head coach of the Tigers, trying to revive a program that hasn't had a winning season since 1998. It's not his first time at Crispin Field. He was here 5 times in his 10 seasons as head coach at Wyoming Valley West. In fact, his teams were 7-3 against Berwick during his tenure there. CJ, what does a Pat Keating offense look like? How do they line up? What are they trying to do?
You know, first off, I have so much respect for Coach Keating. You know, he's been great to me ever since I came in, so I have a ton of respect for him, and anything that I need, I know I'm able to reach out to him, and he's going to have his team ready to go. And looking at their offense, it kind of reminds me of ours in a sense that they'll go with so many different personnels, and they'll go with so many different looks. They'll go from empty to having 8 guys on the line of scrimmage, to having 3 fullbacks, to having 4 wide receivers, to throwing it, to running it. So they're hard to pinpoint on what they're going to do and to get their tendencies down. And they have kids that can make the plays. And so, you know, if we're not able to communicate, which was an issue that we had last week, you know, they're going to be able to be effective in their offense. And they've got some kids that can run. They've got some kids that can catch. They've got a big offensive line. And so they're just very multiple in what they do. And Coach Keating's no rookie to the coaching game. And he knows how to take advantage of mismatches and shifting and getting guys in the right positions to be successful.
They have 2 running backs with decent numbers, senior Carver Lewis, number 8, and a freshman, Lucas Siprich, number 9. How are they different in style, if they are?
Yeah, you know, I think that they are kind of similar in style. They both run hard. You know, they're both one-cut backs who are tough kids who are able to break the first tackle. And, you know, they've also been able to add in number 14, Andrew Lipinski, to their running back rotation, kind of a wildcat quarterback. But, you know, all these guys are kind of similar in what they do. You know, some of them differ in size a little bit. You know, Lewis is a little bit heavier than Siprich. Of course, a senior probably should be than a freshman. But, you know, they both have similar running styles, and they're quick. They can get the edge on you. They can make one cut. They can break a tackle, and they're just tough to bring down.
Sophomore Zach Letwinski has thrown all but 12 of their 109 passes on the season. His favorite target, you mentioned him, junior wide receiver Andrew Lipinski, 19 catches for 352 yards and a couple of touchdowns. At 6'3", a nice target.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lipinski's a very good player, and you know, Zach's able to get the ball out to him a decent amount. And Zach's good in the pocket. You know, he's able to move around in the pocket efficiently. He's able to be accurate with some of his passes. I know Jaden Ransom's a very good wide receiver too. He had a couple very nice catches, you know, in the game that we were able to watch against Towanda last week. And so, you know, he's got great targets out there that he can throw to, and the kid's able to make plays in the pocket.
You mentioned Lipinski as a wildcat quarterback. He has 40 carries on the season. So your defense obviously has to be aware of when he's there.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a very effective runner. You know, he's able to get outside. He has great play fakes, which allows him to suck in the defense so that he can get to the outside. You know, when he has 4 or 5 guys blocking for him, and when they're able to get the edge on teams, he's tough to bring down. You know, there were times that he was bottled up in the backfield that he's able to break a tackle. He's got a great first move, and you know, with that big frame of his at 6'3", I mean, he's able to drag some tacklers along with him, and so he's definitely a threat in the run game that we have to be prepared for.
Well, up next, CJ will tell us what he expects to see from Tunkhannock's defense. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show here on Pop Radio.
Hey, hometown fans. You know Journey Bank as your trusted local bank, but did you know we're also the biggest cheerleader for our community's youth? From athletes competing under the Friday night lights, to students excelling in the classroom, to talented teen stars singing center stage, we're investing in the future of our young people. At Journey Bank, we're committed to helping our kids score big in every aspect of life. Journey Bank, where dreams are nurtured and futures are built. Journey Bank, proud supporter of our local youth.
Be moved in a Mazda from WNL.
Jump in with the whole family for a night of memories in the third row Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, offering 1.9% financing for 72 months.
Or choose bold utility in the all-new CX-70. You will elevate your driving experience with a comfortable cabin and expansive cargo capacity. Right now, WNL Mazda is offering 2.9% for 72 months.
See us off Route 11 in Northumberland and online at WNLMazda.com.
Financing available to well-qualified applicants only. Offer cannot be combined with any other discounts or incentives other than loyalty or military offers. Offers end 10/31/24. See WNL Mazda for complete offer details.
You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
The Bulldogs close the regular season and prep for the District 2 3A playoffs when they take on Tunkhannock at senior night here at Crispin Field. It's the first meeting between the Dogs and the Tigers since 2021. CJ, Pat Keating describes his team's base defense as a 4-2-5. Is that what you see on film study?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 4-2-5, sometimes it looks like those outside backers are coming up in the box a little bit more on like a 4-4 look. But, we can expect, I don't think that they'll play with 5 DBs against us. I think that they'll probably move those guys up a little bit. So, we're preparing for that 4-4, which, we issued that challenge to our team earlier this week where we said, in the first 4 weeks of the season, it was difficult for us to be successful running against a 4-4 defense. And we saw it against Lake Lehman. We saw it against Lackawanna Trail. We saw it against Mid-Valley. We saw it against Hazelton. And we had 4 of our worst offensive outings of the season. So it's given us a little bit of trouble. So the challenge this week was we have to be prepared to take on the 4-4, the 4-2-5, and different variations of that with the outside backers walked up, making it like a 6-2 look. We saw on film against Trail, they gave Lackawanna Trail like a 7-1 look with a bare front. So there's a couple of different fronts that they're going to show us, and we just have to be able to get to our guys, stay on blocks, and execute offensively.
Would you describe their defense as read and react, or will they attack you?
I think that they're a little bit more of read and react. I think that there's times that they'll show blitz, and when they show blitz, those guys do blitz hard. However, it kind of reminds me of a Lackawanna Trail style defensive front where their guys are staying low, they're getting into the chest of our offensive linemen, and they're trying to read the ball. They get off blocks, and they go make plays. And, you watch them against a team like Lackawanna Trail, which we were able to break down that film back in week 3, but coming back to it now has been helpful because, they were very, very aggressive in that game when they knew that it was more of a run-first type of offense. So I think that we can be prepared to see them attack a little bit more and try to stop us in the backfield with our heavy running attack.
Well, regardless of tonight's outcome, your team will be in the District 2 3A playoffs next weekend. You're not sure of your opponent. It's likely to be either Wyoming area or Western Wayne. Now, Wyoming area would be the easy one as far as scouting because you've already played them. Have you started doing stuff with Western Wayne?
We know that it's 1 week at a time, and it truly is. And so we've preached all year to our guys that we want to be 1-0 every single week and that we have to take care of business before we can look ahead. And so, as coaches, we know that, both of those teams are looming in the distance, but nothing matters unless we take care of business this week. So, we're aware of what's out there, but, we haven't started much on them yet just because we want to make sure that we take care of business tonight. Because when you overlook a team, although Tunkhannock's 3-6, depending on, but so are we, and depending on how this week goes, if you drop this one, if you let them come in and beat you on senior night, which they're going to give us one of their best games all season to try to beat the Dogs at Crispin Field on senior night, that could then send us to go play Scranton Prep. So we just need to make sure that we're taking care of business first here at home on senior night tonight, and we'll let the chips fall after.
Well, it is a special night, and I'm sure you remember your senior night. There are only 7 on the roster, which is good for the future. But you are very confident you're going to turn this thing around. Berwick will be a consistent winner. I have all the confidence in the world in you. But still, those Those 7, I would think, will always be special because they were here on the ground floor.
Well, I appreciate that, first of all, Jim. I really do appreciate those kind words. And really, I mean, this group has built the foundation for us and what we want to be about. And these guys have done a tremendous job all year in trying to be leaders and trying to do things the right way. And they've had so much almost dysfunction here with different head coaches and just kind of a rotating door of things and not much consistency that it was tough for these guys to trust and believe and buy into a program. And they've done everything that I've asked them to do, all 7 of these guys. So it's been such an honor and such a pleasure to coach them. And if we can get them, to have a winning record for their senior year at Crispin Field, I mean, that'd be huge. And then, we'll punch our ticket to the playoffs tonight and let's go see what happens with these guys.
Thanks again. Good luck on senior night.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Listen for another CJ Curry Show prior to next Friday's District 2 3A quarterfinal game on the road against an opponent yet to be determined. Stay tuned now for